Hello everyone, my name is Ian Nicholas. I will be joined shortly by Chad Russo here at Fairfield Ward High School. We have number 4 seed New Canaan, who will, well, technically they won't be hosting, but coming here to play them will be 13th seeded St. Joe's. It's been one heck of a journey for both of these teams. The New Canaan Rams, headed by former Stanford head coach Danny Melzer, went from a 5-win team last year to all the way here this year. They've beaten Griswold and St. Bernard in their run for the playoffs. They got a bye, and they only needed 2 wins. Meanwhile, a team that didn't have a bye was St. Joe's, just the 13th seed, but they knocked off the number 1 seed in a double overtime thriller up against Stonington. Some key players to watch out for both of these teams. They have a terrific bunch that we are going to witness tonight. For the Rams, we have Alex Gibbons, who missed their first playoff game with the flu. However, he was back on Friday, only had 5 points, but trust me folks, when he's back and he's fully healthy, he is a killer as a versatile wing for the Rams. Meanwhile, a player who is an absolute superstar for St. Joe's is Stephen Paolini, their senior guard. He is an absolute megastar in the state, an all CIAC first team player. The coaches here have told me from New Canaan, he's one of the top 7-8 players in the conference. He can do it all as a southpaw scorer with some touch from beyond the arc. Another New Canaan player that you're gonna wanna look out for tonight is senior captain Luke Rambuya. He might come off the bench, but trust me folks, he's no bench warmer. He is an absolute stud. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals, and 3 dimes in their win against St. Bernard on Friday. He's averaging 9.7 points per game over the last 2 contests. He's really starting to click at just the right time, the all CIAC defender. Well, there's plenty more in store, but we're gonna have to wait just a little bit while. Coming up here, 7 o'clock sharp. I'll see you there. We're in for a good one. Hello everyone, my name is Ian Nicholas, and I am joined here by Chad Russo at Fairfield Ward High School. As I just mentioned moments ago, we are in for one heck of a game. The winner, the D4, or they get the chance to compete D4 state championship game on the line. The New Canaan Rams, the 4th seed up against 16th seeded St. Joe's. They beat the number 1 seed Cromwell in the
senior number 3, Steve.
They also went on to beat Stonington in a double overtime game. Chad, just in any sport, this is a team that is defying the odds and staying resilient. What is the one thing that you would tell them as a coach, as the underdog heading into this one?
Well, I think it's been obvious for this team this year that they can win any game they've been in. Being able to beat a team like Cromwell really shows that. It's a lot like the Loyola Chicago team last year, who was able to make it all the way to the Final Four, only being an 11 seed.
Very true, and the Rams, they have one heck of a team. They lost 15 games last year, just came away with 5 wins. This year, however, a much different story. 4th year for head coach Danny Melzer, and the team is 18-5, as they are announcing the starters here. 18-5, they beat Griswold on Wednesday, then they beat St. Bernard on Friday. Both of those teams traveled nearly 2 miles, 2 hours to play them, but now, tonight, no team has home court advantage. How do you feel that's going to affect the game?
I don't really think it'll affect either team. I think they're both really good teams and they're used to playing in these kind of conditions. And the fact that one team doesn't have home court advantage really doesn't matter.
Definitely starting for the Rams tonight, Ryan McAleer, the junior who went viral a few months ago on that terrific shot. He's at the 1. Ben Sarda, that's their sharpshooter, at the 2. Alex Gibbons, his second game back from the flu. He had just 5 points on Friday's game, but he's one of their key players. He actually isn't drawing the start tonight. It's senior Steven Ronsky. At the 4, it's Matt Brand, an all CIAC 3rd team member, averaging 13.5 points per game over the last 2. And finally, Jack Richardson, a senior captain. We'll jump into the cadet starting lineup in just a moment, but they have one heck of a player going for that jump ball right now. All CIAC first team member, Stephen Paolini, but he can't win the tip. It's Ryan McAleer and co. who will start us off here in Fairfield. Here's Richardson to Ronsky. Nowhere to go at the moment. He finds Brand open for the deep 2. Smooth as silk as he gets the first bucket of the game.
That's a great way to start off the game, Ian. Being able to start off with early points is the best way to start.
A hot start, hopefully finishes strong. And speaking of a strong finisher, the southpaw with the left hand, number 3, Stephen Paolini. I talked to some of the coaches before the game for New Canaan. They couldn't say enough good things about this kid, an absolute superstar and a terrific scorer. As Richardson goes up with it, looking for the foul, he can't find it. Here's Paolini, coast to coast, and with a bounce, his floater goes. He is amped. Both the buckets to start. He brings on the full court press here. Here's Brand. And Brand looking for the underhand finish, no good. But there's a foul on the play. It is on Captain Brendan Cade, the 6'2" guard. You know, it's interesting. When I talked to one of the assistant coaches for the Rams today, he said they really have an all-guard lineup. No players taller than 6'2". A couple of them are more physical than the others. But how do you feel about this positionless basketball that we're even experiencing at the high school level?
I think it shows how this team's going to be really good at spreading the floor overall. Usually when you have a bunch of big men out there, it's really hard to be able to get open shots in the paint and from 3. But with anyone being able to shoot a 3, it's really easy to spread out the floor and spread out the defense and make it hard for them.
And a full court pass and a nice bucket off of it. Sparks are flying here at Fairfield Ward as Brendan Cade, a streaky shooter, shows his shot there on the mid-range. And here is McAleer working on Jason James. A little bit of a tongue twister. Here's Richardson. Wide open, Zronski. He's got the touch from beyond the arc. A little strong there, no good. And here is Paul Fabry. That ball is loose, nearly stolen, but it's a backcourt. McAleer is amped. What'd you think of that one?
That was definitely a controversial call, but I think the ref made the right decision on that one.
What went wrong?
It was an over and back, and I wasn't sure if McAleer touched it or not, but clearly the refs did think he didn't.
Well, McAleer touches it here, the junior, who has been terrific all year with his wonderful first step to the hoop. Yet again, drawing the start at the point. And here's Ronsky over to Sarda. Sarda hesitating, nowhere to go. Richardson. Here's Brand. But terrific defense from Paolini. A two-way player. An absolute star on offense, but there's a reason he was an all-CIAC first team member. It's because of his two-way abilities. Here's Ronsky on the ISO. Nowhere to go. Brand, he'll take for 3, why not? That's why, no good. Ronsky denied at the rim by Daniel Tobin. But stolen, it's McAleer. Beautiful move, and it's a foul. Back quick, 2 turnovers, and the Rams will head right back to the charity stripe.
I think the key for the Rams today is that they really have to stop Stephen Paolini. If they can stop him, I really think that they could hold the St. Joe's team to a low-scoring game because he seems to be the whole team.
Paolini, as I mentioned earlier, the coaches at New Canaan highly regard him as an absolute two-way machine. I mean, a player that was definitely the key to the game, as you just mentioned, Chad, in order to slow down this Cadets team. He grabs the board, and he'll bring it up the court. And also a very defined guy. I mean, he is a guard, as that is going to be a turnover on Paul Fabry, the junior. But he's also very defined for a guard, as they really don't have many big men, and he kind of functions as a do-it-all guy.
Yeah, you gotta love his versatility. That's what makes you an all first-team FCIAC player.
Here's Brand, as they're just playing hot potato across the court here. And they continue their game. Ronsky gets open. Beautiful no-looker, but no finish. The rim said no on that McAleer layup attempt. Here's a pull-up from inside the paint from Fabrini. He can't get it to go, and Sarda will bring it on transition. He can shoot it, but he's been quiet in his point totals, but opposing defenses cannot leave him open. He'll swing it over to Ronsky. And more give-and-go action. Back to Ronsky, working down low. Brand open for the fadeaway mid-range shot. It's no good. And here is Fabrini yet again. Paolini, excuse me. Paolini, beautiful spin. And he will draw the contact and head to the free throw line.
Ian, that's an okay foul to give up. When someone that good's going up to the rack, you have to be able to stop it. And fouling him's a lot better than just letting him put up an open lead.
Well, a player that could stop him right now, checking in for the Rams, is Luke Rambuya. Rambuya had a terrific game last week. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He did a little bit of everything in their win at Friday against St. Bernard, an all CIAC defensive player, but finally starting to show that scoring touch from the senior captain, averaging 9.7 points per game over the last 2. And also checking in is Alex Gibbons, who I mentioned missed the game with the flu, and one of Coach Melzer's favorite players as an all-around wing. Loves to build his offense around him. Here's Richardson down low. Big man in the paint, no good from the post, but beautiful effort from Gibbons getting the board. Here's Richardson again, no good. Gibbons will drive. Third time's the charm. Yes, it is. Number 23 finally gets his first bucket of the evening. And up the court here is Jason James. James wide open for 3, and it is nowhere close. Offline from Paul Fabry. And Rambuya open is Richardson, testing his luck yet again, but it's not his night so far. 2 misses from beyond the arc so far. And it's Fabry again, to his left, in the corner for 3. This team's not afraid to shoot it. Cade can't get it to go, one of their 4 senior captains. Rambuya, beautiful pass, but a beautiful swat. Make that 2. Gosh, Richardson has not been able to get anything going.
Yeah, you can definitely tell how strong this St. Joe's defense is. They haven't been able to allow any uncontested shots so far tonight, and it should be interesting to see if they can keep that up.
Richardson, I believe, just 1 of 6 shooting after 2 straight blocked shots. Here is him again, looking to prove me wrong. Make it 2 for 7. Second bucket for him. He had 9 points in their win on Friday, second most on the team. He's proving what he can do on the offensive end. Cross-court action to James. Nowhere to go, back to him. And they'll reset at the top of the arc. Giving it back to Cade. And there is Paolini. Why not? Man in his face, but he's fearless. No good. Rambuya was all over him. Wide open. Ben Starda for 3, and it's offline. Here is James looking to go coast to coast. And Richardson, he says no with the denial out of bounds. He was missing some shots earlier on the offensive end, but he is connecting right now, at least defensively. Checking in for the Cadets, Daniel Tobin, number 4. A very good offensive rebounder, and even though he might not show it size-wise, there is Paul Fabry, who connects from deep yet again. Gives them a 3-point lead with just over 2 minutes to go in the first. You know, some games, they go faster than others, but this one, it's like an eternity of terrific basketball. This one is going to be great throughout. Rambuya slowing it down, getting Melzer's commands. And he'll get the screen from Richardson. To his left, jacks up a shot, no good. And they say it's out on Rambuya. I thought he was looking for the foul.
Yeah, for sure. He kind of flopped there on the way up. Maybe if he had just gone up strong, he would have had more of a shot at it. But it was still a good attempt trying to drive it in towards the basket.
It's like he was almost anticipating a foul call, and he never got it. Here's Paolini behind the back. There's Fabry, and the defense is all over him. Paolini, floater in the paint, an unlucky bounce. It's out on Matt Brand, going up for the rebound, and he can't get it. Still down 3, a minute 20 left as they will send Jason James to inbound. Inbounding supposed to be easy, but instead it's out of the hands of Brendan Cade. And Cade, we talked to, again, some of Rams coaches today who said he can get a little bit emotional. Haven't seen that yet, but you like to see players who bring that extra fire to the court. Matt Brand for the Rams is another guy. Could be described as emotional, but the key is to keep their emotions in check. Here's McAleer to Richardson, who gets free, and he'll take the midi. Why not? No good. It bounced around there for a while. He is struggling with efficiency on that end of the court. Here's James looking to go all the way. A nice take. And there's Paolini. 6 points in the first. And again, he is proving what he could do as a do-around scorer. It's an and one. He'll head to the line. He extends their lead to 5 as the Rams check in 2 sophomores, Christian Sweeney and Will Bozzella, as Brand is out. And checking in for the Cadets is Hayden Golier, as Paolini awaits his shots from the charity stripe. And Sweeney, the first player that checked in for the Rams, as Paolini gets that one to go. A football star at running back. He put up 8 points on Wednesday in their win against Griswold. Didn't do much, however, in their win against St. Bernard, looking to make his impact tonight. Here's McAleer driving to his right. Sweeney from 3, got whacked right in the face on the block. But they'll get a mulligan. It's Gibbons who gets the board. He gets shoved from behind, and that is a foul on the Cadets. And they are going to give it on Gorley.
You can definitely tell this is an FCIAC game. The competition seems to be a lot stronger in the FCIAC, even though some of the teams that New Canaan played have been higher seeded than the St. Joe's team. You can tell that St. Joe's is definitely the best team they've played so far this playoff season.
Funny you should mention that, Chad. I completely crossed my mind. These are the only 2 teams in their bracket from the FCIAC. The Rams is a 4th seed, and St. Joe's as 16. There's no shot clock here in Connecticut, so it's going to be the Rams to take this last one. 6 seconds and counting. McAleer out to Bozzella, back out for McAleer, and he's known for the buzzer beater magic, but not that time. St. Joe's took over in the middle of the first quarter, and they have ran with it ever since. A 6-point lead for the Cinderella story 16th seeded Cadets. A 6-point lead, 14-8. It's interesting. We thought the Rams were the Cinderella story in this one, winning just 5 games, hadn't been to the playoffs in a decade. But here is St. Joseph, a small school in their own right, trying to top the storyline of New Canaan.
Yeah, St. Joe's does have one advantage, though. They are able to recruit, which is a big thing, which is really impactful. You can see that they have some bigger guys on their team and some better shooters sometimes. But this year, the New Canaan boys have worked really hard, and they don't really need to be recruited. We really work hard to grow a good program here from the youth level, and you can see how it works out for them.
Coach Melzer has been building that program for years. This is year number 4. Hadn't won more than 5 games in each of his first 3 years here. Well, this is a program that hadn't won in a while. Last state championship, 1962. They're looking to change their fortune, but they're going to need to get it going in the second if they want a chance to play this weekend at Mohegan Sun. What do they need to do in the second to change the outcome of the game, to change scoreboard?
I think they need to lock up Paolini first of all, just to make sure he can't be the player that beats them. If people beat him on the perimeter, if they're able to get out to shooters and they hit threes, that's okay. But if Paolini beats them, then they're only beating themselves. And they have to find a way to spread out the ball and use their depth more in the second quarter.
Checking in for the Cadets is big man, 6'5" in all of them, Tyler Dubose, number 45. Really their only traditional big on the team. And they say that is, I believe, a double dribble. That's going the other way. As that is a crime committed by Paul Fabry, the 6-foot junior. A quality shooter from deep drives with the right hand, unlike his superstar teammate, Stephen Paolini, known for his southpaw finishes. And here is McAleer. Here's Bozzella, who had a mid-season knee injury that derailed a good chunk of a regular season, but this is his 3rd game back, looking to make an impact for the Rams. Coach Melzer obviously likes him throwing the sophomore into the fire with how much playing time in the regular season. They're just playing hot potato yet again. Really nowhere to go, but McAleer's wide open. He won't shoot it. Gibbons will, and it's nothing but the net as he connects from 3 to pull the Rams within 3. And that shot up and good with a lucky bounce. It's Hayden Gorler, the 6'1" junior. The buckets keep rolling in the second. Here's Sweeney. No good. As a foul on Dubose. The sophomore at 6'5", still has room to grow physically and with his skills on the basketball court.
Imagine how much of an impact he'd be able to make if he becomes a 7-footer his senior year. He could be the player we're talking about 2 years from now instead of Paolini.
Definitely for a team that lacks size, that would be huge. Gibbons, a fearless shooter, a man who connected on 6 threes in 1/2 earlier in the year against Brian McMahon. He also hit a buzzer beater in that game. Buzzer beater in New Canaan. Words that should be together forever after their heroics earlier on in the year. James is in trouble. And so is the Cadets offense as Bozzella ends up with it. Here's Rambuya behind the back to Bozzella. Pull up from beyond the arc, no good. Here is Fabry. Again, the ball's in the air. And this time, the Rams get a little too feisty looking for the ball. It's, I believe, Bozzella who committed that one, as Brand will check back in. For Sweeney, and Sarda will check back in as well. Brand, the lone FCIAC member from the Rams, he put up 17 points in their win against Griswold without Gibbons in the lineup, but he was able to put up another nice game with 10 points against St. Bernard. But they really don't have a star player on this team. As Coach Melzer likes to say, he loves the depth in the lineup he's assembled. They can truly go 8 men deep.
Yeah, that's what you have to love about this New Canaan team and what we always keep coming back to. They just have absurd depth. They've never had depth like this over the past 10 years that they haven't been in the playoffs, and it's probably the reason why they're here now.
Nowhere to go for Paul Fabry, but an off-the-ball crime is committed by number 1, Matt Brand, got called, despite him not being on the ball, so it will be Jason Jones yet again. Jason James, excuse me. God, what a great name. For the freshman, the 5'7" freshman, Jason James. Not only getting playing time, but he's been in for, I believe, all of his games. Rams have a couple sophomores, but no freshmen getting any minutes for their rotation.
I think this is the matchup St. Joe's is looking for. Paolini on Bozzella.
They're going to look to get back to him, but again, the Rams are making it a number 1 priority to lock him down on the perimeter. A foul on the play at Sarda as the Cadets will check in a couple of players. But interesting, as soon as you said that, they switched Bozzella off and put Brand on. How do you attack or how do you game plan for such a versatile scorer?
I think you just have to always have your best defender on him. So guys like Brand who are on the bigger side and are able to move are ideal to guard him.
James goes up with it. No good. Solid defense down low as Bozzella brings it up the court here. Still spotting that knee brace on his right leg. But you know who doesn't need to spot anything? It's Gibbons connecting on his second 3 of the night. When we talked to Coach Melzer, he said when he got to New Canaan High School that Gibbons was a pure 4. Now he is a do-it-all superstar on the wing for the Rams. That ball will end up Matt Brand and the Rams, and this Ram bench is emotional. They get excited, a little too overly excited. They get amped, to say the least, whenever great things happen for this team.
Yeah, you got to love how there's just a fire throughout their whole team this year. That's something that we really haven't had in the past. And it's really interesting to see how the student section's kind of rallied around that, too.
You know, it's important to Coach Melzer that not only did he build a winning roster, but he built a winning culture. His team is bought in 100%. As one cohesive unit, here's Sarda. Nowhere to go. Lobbing it up. Gibbons will finish. Will Bozzella putting it in the sweet spot to the left of the rim. And here's James to Paolini. He's been quiet after scoring 6 in the first. He'll drive to his right, go up with the floater, and fall to the ground. A little bit of flopping. He didn't need it, though. The foul was already called. They'll check Wronski back in.
I think it's a huge part of their game plan to have Wronski come in and play defense on Paolini, because Wronski isn't exactly the best scorer, so they can have him give up some fouls and still be a viable option on defense.
Well, interestingly enough, I kind of jinxed you there, or you jinxed Wronski, because just as soon as Melzer pulled him up, he put him right back down for Rambuya. That's more like it. The CIAC defender is going to check in just a moment. As the Rams will call a timeout, down only 2. They've cut their lead. They have really been able to come back strong and not let this game slip away from them. What's changed since the second quarter started?
I think they've just been playing a lot more aggressively, and they've really been able to shut down Paolini. I think he only has around 2 points now just off those free throws in this quarter.
Yes, he has been shut down in the first quarter, but something that has gotten back on track is Alex Gibbons. He had 5 points in their game Friday, in the whole game, even though he came off the bench, still battling the flu symptoms, even though Melzer said he was 100%. He already has 6 points tonight. He's a guy who isn't a sharpshooter from beyond the arc, but he's fearless. How important is it to be confident in your shot?
I think confidence is the whole thing in this game. If you're not confident your shot's going to go in, why shoot it?
I mean, I've heard from players on this very team, oh, he's terrific in practice at shooting. I don't see it in the game. If I don't see it in the game, it doesn't count in my book, and it shouldn't count for the people at home. Rambuya. And now Sarda. Down low is Brand. He gets the mismatch. That's 6'2", working on 5'7". Easy bucket for the CIAC teamer. And there is Paolini to James, swinging it in the corner for Cade. And they say it is a foul, not an out-of-bounds call. It is on Brand. Excuse me, I believe it's on Rambuya, my mistake. And I believe they're already in the bonus, despite there being just under half a quarter left. The Cadets have prioritized getting to the lane tonight. And the free throw is no good. Game is tied at 18. The Rams have made their comeback and are swinging live here. Here's Rambuya. Beautiful pass down low, back out to him. Not known for his shooting, but he'll get it to the shooter. 3 times the charm, hoping for more. Gibbons is on fire.
Looks like Gibbons might have worked on his three-point shot a little bit when he was out sick.
He also worked on the defense, good help from him. 9 points in the quarter alone as he has led the Rams back into the lead. Top of the arc, here's McAleer. Working on Tobin, and they need a timeout as Gibbons, frankly, has single-handedly gotten the Rams back in this one. They just left him open, to be completely honest. Why is it so hard to guard a perimeter player like him?
I think he just has so much versatility on the floor. He can get down low and finish it, but then he can also he can hit it from 3 and he can hit it from way out there. So you can't really guard that.
And it's what he does off the ball, because he's not scoring with the ball in his hands, even though he can. We've seen that in the past. I mean, Coach Melzer described him as a player that's extremely built and has a big boy body. His words, not mine. But he also does a lot off the ball that gets him those open shots.
Yeah, he's constantly moving. He stays behind the three-point line, but when he sees the time to cut in, he cuts in, and he always seems to finish it.
And Rambuya finding him on that one with 3 assists last week. Really a combo guard who plays whatever position the team's opposing top scorer plays on a weekly basis. That pass is jumped by Tobin, but it's saved. Here's Sarda again, another great shooter who hasn't showed his touch tonight. Speak of the devil, maybe not, he can't connect. Tobin on the break. Tobin going for it all with a terrific finish through contact as two guys swarmed all over him. Here's Sarda. Brand back to him. Rambuya, terrific instincts as he gets it to McAleer, but he's gotten unlucky. That's his second missed layup tonight. Can't miss the freebies. James through contact. No foul, but it's nothing but net as they are right back in the lead, 21-22. There's Brand at the logo. And both these bomb squads showed up tonight. One team from Trumbull, another from New Canaan, but both of them brought their buses and are supporting their teams in their quest for the D4 championship bid.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta love how much the fans have come out for this game. St. Joe's may have brought a little more people out, but you can tell both sides have been just as loud. Also
much closer is Trumbull than New Canaan, but New Canaan did bring a bus of their own. Here's Gibbons trying to thread the needle. He does. Wide open, 4-3 is number 3. Finally showing off the praise I was giving him earlier, connecting from beyond the arc. This game has been everything as advertised. Not one, but two underdogs squaring off this back and forth contact. Here's Paolini in the post. So smooth off the fadeaway. Game is tied at 24, 53 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Gibbons, he has 9 this quarter, all from three-pointers. Rambuya, it'd be interesting here, the Rams can take the final shot if they want to. There's no shot clock, but they're staying aggressive. Here's Gibbons, he is close to the backcourt line. And they're just swinging it back and forth. I think they will take the last shot at this point. Just keeping it out of the hands of the Cadets, trying to walk away with the lead at the end of half number 1. 13 seconds. Melzer calling an audible. This stadium is electric. Rambuya to his left, down low. Brand, it's good! And that will be your end of the half. Paolini trying to pull off the miracle, no good. Beautiful pass from Rambuya, showing off his stuff as a terrific ball handler and shot creator for his teammates. The Rams, they trailed at the end of the first, but they pull with a 2-point lead at the half. What surge, what fire came over them?
I think Gibbons was the fire. He was able to hit 3 threes there in the second quarter, which is just spectacular, and it's a great way to fire up your team. And then they were getting back on defense, and they were able to shut down Paolini for that quarter pretty much, only putting up 4 or 6 points, I believe. So if you can keep that up through the game, it's really going to demoralize St. Joe's, and that's pretty much all they need to do.
Gibbons was 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. He had 9. Rambuya with at least 3 assists. Terrific as a passer. We hope to see more of them and more of the Cadets in the second half. We'll see you then. And we are back here for the second half of some high school basketball. Fairfield Ward, that is the location of this game. It's been one heck of a ball game. New Canaan has a 2-point lead, 26-24 over the Cadets. Let's talk about some of the stars. We lead with Matt Brands. He had 10 points in their win on Friday. He already has 10 points tonight, leading the pack with some terrific finishes on the inside. Alex Gibbons, meanwhile, as we mentioned earlier, Chad, he heated up. 3 threes alone in the second quarter. He's got 9 on the game. And then how can we talk about cadet basketball without mentioning Mr. Stephen Polini, the game's leading scorer with 13 points. He's gotten to the charity stripe quite often. What makes him such a lethal scorer on the inside?
I think he's just so much stronger than some of the guys that have been guarding him, like Bizzella, that he's been able to really work it in down low. And he just has a beautiful post fade shot that he's been hitting up a lot down there.
Ironically, the team, the Cadets that lack size, has a player that's bullying the Rams on the inside. He's had a terrific game. It has been a terrific game from both teams. The Rams trailed at the end of the first, yet with that Gibbons spark in the second, they were able to retake the lead. It's anyone's game. We saw it Friday against St. Bernard, even though you weren't there, Chad, unfortunately. The Rams took one lead, and they just ran with it. So whatever team gets momentum first in this game could potentially come away as the victor.
Yeah, this game's definitely been very streaky, though. So I think the first team to lead off and get a scoring streak in this third quarter could be the team to come away with the win.
And here's Paolini back over to James, the 5'7" freshman who will pass it out for a wide open bucket for Mr. Brendan Cade as they get back to a 26-point ball game. It's all tied up here. He got wide open on the midi. And here's Sarda. He was in trouble for a moment. Ball down low. It's Sarda who saves it. Beautiful cross court to Ronsky. He'll finish with his right. First bucket of the game for him.
This St. Joe's team has been playing really good press defense, not really allowing New Canaan to rush it up the court. But when they get back on defense, they have a lot of open lanes.
Open from beyond the arc, and that one goes beyond the backboard as Paul Fabry cannot connect from 3. And Brand, the Rams' leading scorer with 10. He scored double digits in each of the last 3 games, but that shouldn't shock you. Scoring's his specialty. As the All-FCIAC third team member gets it back to Ronsky. Here's Sarda. He's drawing the double, even though he hasn't brought a lot offensively tonight. And there's Ronsky down. Whoa! Count the foul. Back-to-back buckets for the fan favorite. What a play.
Yeah, I usually love watching Steven play in football. He always has that. He always works harder to get the extra yards, and that's exactly what he did there. He was able to finish down low, and that's exactly what you want to see.
Looking to make it 5 straight points, and hopefully will give the Rams a 5-point lead. Yes, he will. You mentioned it earlier, not really a scorer. I guess he heard you. He's proven you wrong.
I mean, I'm more than happy to have Steven prove me wrong. I always love watching him play.
Proving you wrong on both ends until the referees think he went a little too football on that move, decking one of the Cadetters. Cadetters? Why not? Ronsky draws the foul.
No, it looks like the Rams will retain the ball, though, which means must have been on the Cadets, I guess.
Everything's going right for Steven Ronsky. How couldn't it? A football player, as you alluded to, Coach Melzer said it takes the football guys some time to adjust. It took him some time to adjust to that pass as he turns it over. Oh, he was about to spot up for the deep 3. James Will, no good. McAleer pulls it down. He had 9 points in their win on Friday, 3rd on the team, but he hasn't been involved offensively in this one. He's missed a couple of easy shots at the rim.
You can tell both teams really wanted to come out fast. Just the shots really haven't been falling for the Cadets. I think they'll try and force it more to Paolini and see if they can turn it around real quick.
Well, the Rams have locked down Paolini to the best of their abilities, but he still ended up scoring 13 points, exactly half of the Cadets. Buckets for the evening, but not much working outside of him. McAleer, he's got a lethal first step, which he shows you right there.
Down low to Brand. He's been feasting on the undersized cadetters. No good, however, as they swarm to number 1 on that one. Going for the Odell Beckham is Brendan Cade, but he can't corral it with one hand.
Yeah, I think it would be crucial for the Cadets just to slow down the game, get it more down to their pace. And if they can do that, they'll be able to get more efficient offense than what they've been doing so far.
Here's Richardson, who had 4 points in the first, but struggled field goal percentage-wise. Brand's open for 3. The bench got excited, but nothing happened. There he is, cutting to the rim and showing Barim what he's got. 12 points for Matt Brand with that slam jam. NC's Bomb Squad's on fire right now, a 7-point lead. Paolini for 3. Barim's not his friend there, but an and 1 bucket for Daniel Tobin. Melzer is electric. What happened on that one?
I mean, they have to go and get the board after a shot like that. They have to. They can't get excited by the dunk. They have to get down there and they have to be able to get the board. You can't give second possessions.
Matt Brand, he shows his stuff with his athleticism. He's jammed it a couple times for us live, and he is not afraid to go at it when left wide open. Even if it's not a fast break bucket, I mean, there were plenty of people in the paint. But when your tallest player is, 6 foot in your starting lineup, you can't stop Matt Brand from dunking all over you. And that ball is still within the Rams' possession, trying to connect with McAleer along the baseline. Sarda will inbound. Sorry to cut you off there.
Ian, I'm surprised they haven't tried to force the ball more at Jason James. Him only being a freshman, you would think he'd be inexperienced in this situation.
He's handled the pressure well, all 5'7" of them, as he has gotten the ball plenty and commanded this offense from the point. And here's McAleer, James all over him. 2 very quick players. I haven't seen a player been able to match up to McAleer's speed until James tonight. That one is deflected out of bounds by Paolini, but it was out on him, so it's still Ram basketball. A 4-point lead after they were up just 2 at the half. Here's McAleer. And an off-the-ball foul as Cade hits the deck. It's on Sarda. And this time, it will be the Cadets inbounding as they're going to make a substitution. Rambuya is in. And Sarda is out as he's been in a little bit of foul trouble.
That was definitely a flop by Cade. I just have to say it. I haven't seen Sarda run through anyone all season, and I doubt he would start doing it there.
Fair enough. But the ref saw something else. Deep 3. Showing off his range. Unfortunately, it can't connect. It's Paul Fabry. ISO for McAleer. He'll drive to his left. There's Ronski. Beautiful pass down low and a beautiful reverse lay-in for Matt Brand. 14 points. They keep piling up here in the second.
Who would have thought Brand would be outscoring Paolini at this time? I don't think many people would, but he's definitely been able to put on a really great game for us today.
Brand's always a lethal scorer. It's those second passes that count, and that's Rambuya with the steal. Give him the bucket. A little bit of contact, it didn't matter. He got it to go, an 8-point lead. Rambuya's hype, the Rams are hype. They have taken control.
That may not have been as exciting as the dunk was, but I think that was an even more skilled play. He was able to get up there and finish over all the Cadet defenders. I thought that was great.
It's interesting what Rambuya brings to the game. A team captain, but he comes off the bench. But don't let that fool you, folks. He is a do-it-all player. Usually not a guy who shows up in the stat sheet, but last week he scored 12. The game before he scored 7. He is a very crafty scorer on the inside. His length and his agility give him a great ability to drive to the rim when left one-on-one.
Yeah, for sure, Ian. And I just want to point out that New Canaan's been on I think it's an 8-0 scoring streak, which is huge for them. If they can keep that together going into the fourth quarter up by around 5, I think they could really close out this game.
Not just in high school basketball, but in any sport, as we alluded to earlier, it's momentum that is the key. And right now, the Rams are really starting to pull away with it. It's still a very close game, though. Still over 11 minutes to go combined. And we've seen just how dangerous this cadet team can be from time to time, especially when Paolini is the one leading the charge, but he's been awfully quiet in the second half.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they start forcing the ball to him more. They know he's their best player, and they know they need to get him going to be able to win this game.
But his teammates aren't doing him any favors right now. Meanwhile, the Rams are playing like one unit. That's the brand of basketball Melzer loves to see. It's the additional passing. He uses all those unlimited seconds he gets on no shot clocks to really let the offense unfold. Here's Paolini to his right, and he gets denied. It's Gibbons with the swat, and he goes for it. That is Daniel Tobin, a terrific offensive rebounder. Despite his lack of size, it's no good, and now the Cadets are going to bring out the full court press.
Yeah, this has been really effective for them so far today, Ian. I'm not surprised they brought it back.
Rams bring it out from time to time as well. Here's McAleer out to Brands, who's been hot all game long, but mostly from inside the arc on terrific finishes at the rim. Wronski nearly loses it. Player goes for the ball. Brand goes and corrals that one with one hand. Here's Wronski yet again. Backpedaling, driving to his right, a give and go to McAleer, and that one is out of bounds. It will go the other way, as the ref was right behind him, and part of his shoe must have hit the red of Fairfield Ward's baseline. Here is Jason James working on Rambuya. And there is the lethal man, Paolini. Paolini gets another foul. Terrific at drawing contact.
You know, Ian, he's been getting fouled a lot, but free throw shots aren't going to turn around the momentum of a game. They may be too easy points for him, but being able to get a nice layup or a good finish down low can really change the energy of the game, and they haven't allowed him to do that.
They also need to connect on some more outside shots. I mean, the Rams aren't a team known for their shooting from beyond the arc. I mean, Gibbons made a couple of threes earlier in the game, but they really haven't been able to get much since. But the Cadets haven't been able to even threaten the Rams from beyond the arc. At least the Cadets have to respect the Rams shot and play maybe a more conservative style of defense.
Yeah, for sure. But you can really tell that this Cadet team is also getting tired. They've had the same starting lineup in almost the whole entire game, and they don't have the same depth that New Canaan has. So it's going to be interesting to see in the fourth quarter if they can keep up their energy and still keep this a game. Very true. That depth is one of Melzer's favorites for a reason. Rambuya loses it. It's Paolini's now, and Rambuya had it again. Melzer is angry. What happened there? Why is it going the other way? I thought he pickpocketed him perfectly, but I might be a little biased. But I guess it was a reach-in foul, but it really didn't look like it to me. Well, the Rams will accept it and move on, as the Cadets will get a redo. They've pulled within 6, but they've trailed for most of the half. 2 minutes to go in the third. Here's Paolini. He's lethal from the post, but he'll take the mid-range. Why not? The shot creator continues to shoot his shot in the second half, finally getting it to go. Yeah, you can tell his shot's really heating up for tonight. It should be really interesting to see if he'll keep that going or if they'll see if he can drive it to the basket more. Rambuya can't get it to go on his finish, and James, nice Euro, no finish though, as Paolini gets right into the NC bomb squad, excuse me. Trying to go for that one. To no prevail, it's still New Canaan basketball. Richardson will check in for Bozzella, who hasn't scored at all in the 3 games that he's played, but he can handle the ball, and Coach Melzer likes to get him in even to playoff action. Still potentially dealing with those side effects of a dislocated kneecap and a sprained ACL. I'm kind of surprised he got back in the lineup this year, especially with playoff action. That one is stolen by Glenn Manglot. He's in the game, but not for long. That ball is out of it. Rambuya denies him. That was a great. Was that a block by Brand or was that a block by Rambuya?
I wasn't sure at this point. This game's going a bit too fast. Rambuya had 2 swats last week, but Brand's awfully tall himself. Rambuya always active on defense, sorry.
Whoever blocked that, I think that's the best block of the night. They were able to do it so cleanly that the refs couldn't even blow the whistle.
And we've seen so many blocks tonight. For you to say that's the best one, it's been a terrific game on both ends of the court. Here's Paolini in the corner. He's got a Richardson on him. Nowhere to go at that point. Cade, 4-3, man in his face. It doesn't matter. Momentum, where? They need a timeout. This game, no one is pulling away. We're in for a great one in the fourth quarter. They've pulled within 1, 37-36.
Yeah, Ian, the scoring in this game's definitely been consistently inconsistent. Each team's been able to have these streaks, but they haven't been able to keep it going.
I mean,
for a team to be able to pull out and win this game completely, they're just going to have to go on one large run instead of those streaks of runs.
Well, the Rams were truly going on that long run. I mean, they've dominated for most of a quarter, but all of a sudden, the Cadets, a very talented team of their own, they're always in a game, just finally started connecting from beyond the arc. Cade's shot tonight has not been there until now. Ruthless, right in the face of an NC defender. And this is a team in the Cadets that really has fought through a lot. I mean, they beat the number 1 seed in the second round. Then they went on to win in double overtime just a few days ago up against 8th seeded Stoningston, 69-67, a terrific victory. This is a team that is never out of it despite the score. And here's McAleer, 47 seconds left. They might look to take the last shot yet again. That's what they did at the end of the first half, and it ended in, I believe, a Matt Brand's bucket. The defense is swarming, but they continue to chuck the ball around. Rambuya. It's Sarda, he pumps and backpedals. 25 seconds now. He gets doubled, so it's Brand now. Brand back to Sarda. You know the story here. They'll keep chucking it around until we get closer and closer to the start of the fourth. Brand. Back to McAleer. 8 seconds. Sarda. Just 5. Sarda. Step back. 4-3. It was a nice move, but too strong. As we end the third quarter, still New Canaan leading, but now just by 1. It is tense here in this arena, and it is electric.
That was definitely a good play for the Rams, though. They were able to drain some of the energy out of St. Joe's by making them have to run around in a circle after the ball. Well, their players barely had to move. The only people that were showing any energy there was the St. Joe's student section.
Interesting way to phrase it. That is what the Rams tend to do within the final minute. If they ever get the ball, they just wait for the last shot. That's great about, well, most states, high school basketball. There's no shot clock. And the Rams, interestingly enough, use that to their advantage most of the time with their very pass-oriented offense. The bomb squad's really getting into it, as you mentioned. But what happened for the Cadets in the third quarter, start of the second half? How were they able to pull together such a quick run so quickly?
Well, I think they were able to really just get it to one of the best players in the state, in Stephen Paolini. He was able to really affect the game, and once they had to go respect his shot more, they were able to spread it out more to players like Cade, who were able to hit that 3.
Well, Paolini, as you mentioned, he made that fadeaway too. That shot really came out of nowhere. He just is so good at creating his own looks and getting to the lane, and then that set him up for the Cade 3-pointer. They are not afraid to take shots with men right in their face. I mean, we talked about confident shooters before, and they can get hot.
Yeah, for sure. His abilities are really showing what the weight room and hard work can really do for you as a team. His weight room skills clearly show. He looks more built than just about anyone on the court, and it really shows in the way he plays.
They make up for their lack of frame by building their strength. Here we are, start of a fourth. Ben Sarda will kick it off here. Gibbons thought about it for a second. That's a little too deep even for him. McAleer fumbling it around. He'll get it back to Sarda. And there is Gibbons crossing all over. Down low, beautiful dime, beautiful finish. That's Richardson. He hasn't scored since the first quarter, and he has now 6 in the game. Here is James dancing around, gets it to Cade. He'll shoot it after some hesitation. Can't get that one to go, unlike his shot late in the third.
Yeah, that was definitely not the shot look the Cadets should have been looking for. He just kind of pulled up out of nowhere without anyone really underneath to get a rebound. If they want to get really into this game more than they are right now, they really need to take just shots down low, higher percentage shots with rebounders there to rebound.
And there's Gibbons out of the post, and the shot's no good. But the foul is as Tobin just holds his hand in the air for a moment. I didn't see much contact there at all, but the refs did, as Gibbons will head to the line for, I believe, the first time tonight.
I mean, no matter how questionable the foul is, I think the Rams will take it either way, right?
He was their second leading scorer heading into the half with 9 points, splashing 3 trays in the second quarter, but he's been quiet ever since. He's looking to get in the double digits, and he will. His second free throw is good, and it gives the Rams a 4-point lead, and their rest of their guys up for a moment. They call the timeout, not the Cadets, as Rambuya will check in for the Rams.
Well, this is definitely one thing Coach Melzer's really good at. He's good at slowing down the game and making sure his players are confident in what they're doing. I think this was a great move for them, and that maybe this will be able to really slow down the Cadets and make them think more about what they're doing instead of just playing the game naturally.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Most coaches usually call timeouts when they're either close in a game or when they are trailing by a lot. However, Melzer, even when they're up by considerable amount, especially in that St. Bernard game, he took about 2 timeouts in a 1-minute span despite having a 10-point lead. And that shows you what kind of coach he is. He's prepared for all situations, even the ones that don't seem really feasible. But that timeout could also give the Cadets and head coach Kevin Wilk a chance to get back in this one. They're only down 4, and they could use that extra time to think of a game plan. Wide open, Cade for 3. 2 threes in the half, showing off the mellow. Pointing to that good old brain of his. It's doing him good right now. Back within 1. There's Brand. And there's Gibbons. Back-to-back threes. There he is. 13 for Gibbons, his 4th tray of the night, as these two teams are exchanging blows yet again. There's James. There's Paolini in the post. He gets a screen. He gets the 3. A little too rambunctious on that one. No good.
That was really great defense by Rambuya. He was really shook in there when the Paolini was moving off ball, but he was able to recover and make it there without getting a foul, which was really good for him.
Also showing his abilities as a leader, as he got fouled there, or he was the reason for the foul, and he pointed to his teammates saying, "It was my bad, guys." He's not just a hothead scorer. He is a true team captain. They have 4 of them. The Rams only have 3. But that's an issue we'll talk about for another time. Right now we have one heck of a game. Here's Brand. Over to Gibbons. Will he make it 5 threes? He'll drive inside. Rambuya's doubled. And a beautiful backdoor pass to McAleer. Finishing through contact. He got sandwiched. It didn't matter. 6-point lead for the Rams. There's James attacking, all 5'7" of them. And that one's going to go the same way, despite Richardson pointing that it was NC's basketball. The ref saw another story as Jason James looks to inbound. Here's Cade, who made that corner 3 just a few moments ago. And on the baseline is Tobin. A man is open for 3. It's Fabry. He cannot connect.
Yeah, it really seems like Fabry's been having a tough game tonight. He hasn't really been able to move quite naturally, it seems like, and some of his shots just haven't been falling from 3.
He's staying aggressive, but to no prevail. Here's Rambuya to his right, and now here's McAleer to his left. He will finish with the left. That first step is lethal, and the Rams lead is back up to 8.
This has been one of those signature streaks of the game. They've been able to put up, I think it's 7 points here to really close out the lead that St. Joe's was starting to grow on them.
Cade gets open for a quick fadeaway jumper, and despite the nice bucket, it will be the Cadets calling the timeout. 47-41, 4.5 minutes left. They're starting to pull back. That was a really nice series. Some great passing led to the open bucket from Cade. But within the final 4 minutes and 33 seconds, what do the Cadets need to do to tie it back up?
I think they really need to set more screens and be able to move a lot more off ball. Because with the screens, they'll be able to pick and pop more, which means they'll be able to get more players onto the three-point line to put up just more high-scoring shots, even though they're lower percentages.
Well, they're going to need those percentages to go up within the next 4 minutes to get back in this one. Regardless, the Rams have a nice little lead. It's interesting because they've had the lead for the entirety of the half. The Cadets have pulled within 1, they've pulled within 2, but they haven't pulled within 0. The Rams are prioritizing keeping the lead. As Coach Melzer and crew try to devise a way to stop Paolini. Paolini's been limited in the second. I mean, he's fighting for his life. He's getting to the foul line. He's trying to create his own shot. But what's changed? How has he been stopped?
I think they've just been playing tighter defense on him. But when he makes those shots, you can really see how it energizes his team. So even though some of his shots haven't been going in, the shots he has been putting in have counted more than 2 points than they have on the scoreboard.
Great point. I mean, his shot creating ability, it's not otherworldly, but it definitely inspires even his own teammates that see him do it the most. Back and forth action, it's Rambuya. Swings it over to Richardson. And now it's McAleer. McAleer pivoting again. Gibbons. Ball continues to fly out of Rams' hands, but there's no shot. Rambuya brings it to half court. Nowhere to go. Here's Richardson. He'll start driving a moment, and then he gets rid of it back to Rambuya. Rambuya loses it, and going over top of him is Tobin. And despite the effort from him, it is still NC basketball. Sarda checks in, Richardson checks out.
I think that might have been a strategic trip and fall by Rambuya. He was able to take out the defender that was going after the ball, surprisingly, without being called for a foul.
Rambuya's a lanky guy who really shows you just how much he cares about defense. I mean, he went from offensive mode to defensive mode instantly on the break and was able to slow down Tobin and keep it within the Rams' possession. And this is new. I haven't seen this one in a while. It's a jump ball. I believe it's between Gibbons and Cade. Both of them are around the same height. I'm wrong. I am dead wrong. It looked like it for a moment. I didn't know what was happening. McAleer was just holding his hands up like he'd have been committed a crime. I'm sorry, folks.
No, Ian, they get the best of us sometimes when they're getting down there and wrestling to be able to get in position for an inbounds. It gets the best of all of us.
I just got some news from another sport that shocked me. If you know what I'm talking about, then you'll feel me. Steven Ronski will check in, and Richardson, who is out for just a moment, checks right back in. Gibbons will check out alongside Sarda. What do you think of this big man lineup? They're really bringing out all the wings for the Rams.
I think it will be really effective for getting rebounds, but it should be interesting to see if they'll be able to guard the faster guys like James out there.
And Rambuya will hold on to it and bring it up the court. They still have a 6-point lead. The score has remained the same for the past few minutes as the Rams will just look to hold on to it and advance to Mohegan. But don't count the Cadets out just yet, as Ronski hits the deck, but it's an offensive foul, I believe, on him. But look at the sportsmanship from Brendan Cade. Even though Ronski committed the foul, he went over there to help out his counterpart. That's good to see these two teams at the polar ends of liking each other right now, but that's some great sportsmanship between those two. Cade off balance three, trying to show a little bit more than sportsmanship. And And Rambuya gets the foul. I thought that was going to be an over the back on Paolini. Instead, I believe it's an offensive foul on Rambuya.
Yeah, I think everyone was a little bit surprised there. Paolini was surprised he didn't get hit with the foul. You could just see the reaction on his face. But, yeah, it's okay, though. The jump ball still goes to New Canaan, but still, that was definitely an interesting call.
Interesting call indeed. McAleer's getting doubled. And here is Rambuya threading the needle to McAleer. Back to him. They are really going all out defensively. They're bringing the heat. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to get anything going on offense. Sarda showing off the moves, getting in his bag a little bit. Here's Rambuya, yet again. Back to Sarda. 2 minutes, 25 seconds, and 0 shot clock. So the Rams are gonna just hold on to it right now. They have a comfortable lead, why not? That's why Gibbons is gonna let it go, ending the possession with his fearless shot, a 9-point lead. I don't want to say that's a dagger, but God, what confidence he must have had in that one.
Yeah, but they still have to get back on defense there. They allowed an easy cadet bucket because they were also mesmerized by Gibbons' 5 for 5 shooting from 3, I believe.
5 for 5. I believe you're right. He's up to 16 points on the night. 5 threes, you just mentioned.
That's a rare stat line for him, though. You usually see him finishing a lot more down low, but tonight he's really showed his range.
I mean, he's shown it in the past, but tonight it's been exclusively from beyond the arc. He'll lob it up to Rambuya, who has to corral it with one hand and float towards the corner. And again, the Rams have the momentum, but the Rams call the timeout. They have a 7-point lead, a minute 49 remaining, thanks to that Gibbons bucket, but then followed up on the other end by, I believe, as you alluded to just moments ago, the Tobin layup.
Yeah, it's really interesting, Ian. I was expecting the Rams to be a lot slower paced on these plays and just trying to pass it around kind of like they've been doing at the end of the 1 minute left in the quarter. But they really sped things up there, and yeah, it's really just shocking to me.
Well, what's shocking to me is the Odell Beckham. I'm sorry, I'm a Giants fan. I had to get it in there. If I've been out of it for the past few minutes, that's why. But you know who's not out of it? It's the Cadets. We've seen the Rams pull off plenty of comebacks. We saw that Stanford game that you and I covered a few months ago. This team is able to come back. It's not that far out of reach, but they need to connect on some perimeter shots, the Cadets that is, in order to get back in this one.
Ian, I'd love to see something like that, but I don't think I'd be able to handle another random half-court shot that no one sees coming again. That game was just absurd against Stanford. I really don't think I'd be able to handle that here.
If you didn't see that one, folks, I'm not going to recap it because you definitely should listen to us again, because why not? Half-court shots and our voices screaming over it. You couldn't ask for more in a basketball game. Speaking of basketball games, let's get back into the one at hand. Matt Brand, numero uno, he's been terrific tonight. He's terrific most nights, but tonight he's bringing it. Gibbons is open, a little too open as he slides to the ground, getting a bit too ahead of himself. Might have been tripped up a little bit. He'll head to the line.
I got to give Cade some credit. He's been a little contact heavy tonight, but he's still been a really good athlete in the way he's been showing his good sportsmanship.
Yeah, second time tonight that he has helped out a friend in need on the court, or a frenemy in need. That's not a foul line shot, excuse me. It's just a foul as Rambuya inbounded it over to Sarda. Sarda inbounded it, my mistake. And that is another foul. This time it is Fabry, as Richardson will check back into this one momentarily.
You can really tell that they're subbing in more of a defensive lineup here and people that can really handle the ball. They're putting in their older seniors who have more experience and keeping Gibbons in, of course, because
it's Gibbons.
Of course.
5 threes, that says it all. Here's Ben Sarda from the free throw line. First one is good. It extends the Rams' lead to 8. 9 would tie them for their biggest lead of the night, and it could potentially be a dagger with a minute 39 left to go. Let's see what he has. Second one is up. Second one is good. timeout is not called, but they sent Sarda in just to hit those free throws. He'll go right out for Richardson as they roll the basketball because let's try something new. We need to win this one. Let's spice it up. James tries to spice it up with a pull-up three. He is nowhere close as that one rolls out of bounds. Sarda checking right back in for Richardson. Richardson's a bit amped as the Rams are looking to seal the deal here at Fairfield Ward High School.
I think one crucial mistake that St. Joe's has made in these last couple of minutes is that they've been having James take up the ball instead of Paolini. They haven't been able to get Paolini the ball enough, and that was just a great finish by Brand.
But he has gotten the ball enough. Matt Brand, don't know the specific point total, but he's killing it. What a bucket, though. Give him credit. Paul Fabry, his shot hasn't been there for most of tonight, but a terrific and one finish. A three-point play they really needed to keep their chances alive in this one. And checking in will be Hayden Gorley, and in a moment also Glenn McGaunt, two guys that haven't gotten a lot of playing time tonight. Why would they check them in so late in the game?
I think it's really just to really show some new faces out on the court, get some new people out there, get some fresher guys out there. Maybe some guys that can hit from three more because they're down by 8 points.
Fresh guys could help, but they need all the veteran talent they can get right now. Rambuya gets it to McAleer. He takes a push. It's still their ball, however.
It looks like they almost ran through McAleer in the corner there. I was surprised that there wasn't much of a foul call. It looks like a running back almost running through a hole during a football game.
New game plan here. Just take them all out. Here's Sarda. We're going to go coast for coast. He'll slow it down, however. It's Brand who gets doubled and fouled. They're already in desperation mode, sending guys to the charity stripe. You think it's a bit early for that?
I mean, it's never too early because there is no shot clock, so the Rams really could hold the ball forever how long they wanted.
Yeah, as soon as I said that, the words were coming out of my mouth, and then something screamed shot clock. And that's what the Rams usually do whenever it's about a minute or less and a half. Even if they're winning or losing, they like to hold the ball for the last shot. Fouling is a must, and a must is making these free throws for Matt Brand. He connects on the first, extending the lead to 9. If he makes the second for the first time all night, it would be a double-digit lead for either team. And he gets it to go, smooth as silk with a couple of bounces around the basket. Just a minute 12 left. Here's Fabry driving to his left, going up with something. It's no good. McAleer slongs it up the court for Brand, nowhere to go. As there is a pause in play.
I'd hate to say it on this one, Ian, but I think this one's almost impossible for St. Joe's to get back into. They'd have to put up almost 1/4 their amount of points in just 1 minute left in the quarter, which is going to be really hard and difficult for them.
What is it hard or difficult? Well, their free throws, those ones get the best of all of us as Richardson short on that one. That shot, I don't know where that one was going, but he's going to draw the foul on the shooter, and he'll head to the line for 3 shots at the line. And Melzer saying how you cannot foul. That's what apparently was one of their key points in the huddle. You cannot foul them. Gibbons did, however, and now it is Fabry's time from the line.
Gibbons has still been a really key player tonight, putting up 16 points, being the leading scorer of the game, I believe. So 1 foul might be big in the moment, but it's not big in the long term for him.
Well, they're able to make both free throws. They have one more as their slim chances are getting bigger. If they make this last one, they'll pull to within 7 with 57.9 seconds remaining. And that was clutch. Paul Fabry connecting on all 3 of the shots from the charity stripe, pulling off his own Aaron Fishman impersonation.
I mean, I think I'll never forget those free throws that Aaron Fishman shot, but that's neither here nor there now. This game's...
Easy bucket for Matt Brand. Screaming right in his face. Why don't you, Matt? You earned it, and 1 bucket. He got shoved right in the back, but it did not matter.
I think Cade's physical plays really came up to catch him. Even though he's been a great sport so far this game, he's been so aggressive that it had to equal an and one at some point.
You know, it's interesting. They said Cade was an emotional player. They said Brand's an emotional player. Brand yelled right in his face after that bucket. He knows he just hit a shot that could potentially seal the deal. He's been dominating down low all game. The size advantage really showing tonight. And he's been terrific from the free throw line. He hasn't missed, and he extends the Rams' lead to 10. That first double-digit lead of the game. Christian Sweeney, the sophomore, checks into the game. Ball still alive. Tobin with the up and under. Gets it to go as James will foul. James will foul McAleer. You thought he was going to make another one?
I'm not even sure if it would have counted. I think it just would have been insane to have seen.
Chad alluding to his beautiful half-court shot that went viral a few months ago. That one would not have counted. And that one doesn't either, as that first free throw rims out. An 8-point lead. As he's disappointed after that one. If he made both, he would have brought them back in the double-digit lead territory. We have 37.4 seconds left. The second one is good. However, 60-51 is the score. Cade's having trouble with the ball. For a moment, whoa! That looks like me in any basketball game. No good. That ball is nowhere close. Cade, in true desperation time, he didn't even look to try to get a clean shot off. He just heaved it up.
Yeah, you can really tell that that's definitely not the shot you're looking for. He is one of their stronger players, but you definitely want to get the ball to your strongest shooter and overall just strongest player like Polino.
Cade has connected on multiple triples tonight. Meanwhile, McAleer connecting on that free throw as Caden's lead up to 10. This bench couldn't be happier as they hope to seal the deal in the Class 4 semifinals game. Here is Fabry. Fabry looking to go coast to coast, and he meets the bottom of the rim. And there's Rambuya. He'll float it up to Ryan McAleer. And they're going to hold on to this one. Ladies and gentlemen, in just 7 seconds, the new Canaan Rams, who haven't won a state championship since 1960, will be heading to the D4 state championship game in Mohegan Sun Arena up in Upton Park, Connecticut this weekend. The Rams are back to their winning ways, extending their record up to 19-4. Wow, 62-51. That is your final score. What did you see from them that you didn't see at the beginning of the year? What's new with this terrific team?
I think their depth just really showed out again. It's not something we were really talking about at the beginning of the year. We didn't know these sophomores were going to come in and be so good. But they were able to play players like Bozzella and Sweeney out there tonight, who we really wouldn't have seen coming in their sophomores year.
Fresh faces, a fresh vibe around New Canaan basketball. It's a football town, it's a baseball town, it's a lacrosse town, but now it's a basketball town. The winter season is showing strong. NC competing for their first state title in nearly 50 years. Let's talk about the stars from this one. The Rams won by 11, and their key guys included Matt Brand, who finished with 21 points. He dropped 11 points alone in the second half. Meanwhile, Alex Gibbons, five 3-pointers for Gibbons. He finishes with 16. Meanwhile, the lead scorer in the All-CIAC first-team member, Steve Paulini, finished with 17 points for the Cadets. Meanwhile, Brendan Cade connected on a couple threes and finished with 12. They lose, however, by 11. The final score is 62-51. And before we go, we want to give a special shout out to a couple of the people who were able to put this broadcast together. Special thanks go out to Seth Fry, the athletic director here at Fairfield Ward, who no team was playing. However, thanks to him, this was able to happen. Meanwhile,
You also have to give thanks to our own AD, Jay Egan at NC, Bill Brown here keeping tabs on all the scorers, what work he does here in the New Canaan community. Not to mention, shout out from NC TV, Tony P, as well as our do-it-all man and producer, Cortland Parrott, Roman Sobolski, our advisor, and our cameraman, Harvey Duplock, alongside Chad Russo. I'm Ian Nicholas. We won't see you, however, this weekend. Mohegan Sun Arena hopefully will. The game is Saturday at 4 o'clock, and we're going to see if we can potentially nab one of the Rams' key players from this victory. If not, we'll send you off. But this is an emotional moment for these guys. They really haven't been able to win a whole lot of games heading into this year, but this year truly changed the fortunes of New Canaan Ram basketball. Again, joined by Chad Russo. Thank you so much, Chad. I'm Ian Nicholas, and we'll see you next time.